Yo, guys and gals. I always say guys because, and it's not because I'm discriminating against ladies. I have some great lady sellers in my mastermind group, but the reality is in our Shopify ecom world, 95% of us are men, and there are about 5% women. So start with guys, but guys and gals. So please don't be offended by that. It's just I know my audience. Although, anyway, cheers, guys. So I wanted to talk about this. And let me give you the news here, just in case you might have missed it. There was some big news yesterday. This has been an ongoing thing that some of us have been watching, but the final verdict came in yesterday. And Harley Davidson has successfully sued Sunfrog. Okay, now I believe that everyone knows who Harley Davidson is. It's one of the biggest motorcycle manufacturers in the world. They have a huge amount of money they make versus via merchandising. So they sell T-shirts, bags, hats, all sorts of items with their logos and their trademarks on them. And they sell them directly, but they also sell the rights, the license. You can get a license to sell through Harley and sell their stuff legitimately. Obviously, you got to give them a royalty on all sales, and I think they cost, I don't know how much it costs to be a licensed seller, but there's an upfront fee as well. Now, if you're not in the print-on-demand game, and you're just doing the drop shipping from AliExpress and eBay, and then maybe bulk shipping from Alibaba, you may not be familiar with Sunfrog. So let me explain who Sunfrog is. Sunfrog is the biggest online seller of T-shirts, okay? They've been selling online for years, even before Teespring and everyone came along. And then when Teespring came along and brought up the idea of print on demand, so they're letting us sellers, people like us, upload designs and sell, Sunfrog followed that model and introduced a massive print on demand solution for us sellers, right, on their platform, right, selling under their brand name. And they got sued because of maybe some of the stuff they were selling themselves, but some of the stuff they were mostly being sold by us sellers. And it was a huge judgment, $19 million. It's the largest trademark violation lawsuit in the history of, I think, at least the United States. I don't know about the worldwide, but the United States is the biggest market, so probably worldwide. But anyway, the United States is definitely number one. It was said that in a newspaper article. I saw that in a few articles. So this has a massive implication for us, guys, and don't underestimate this. This is going to be huge for us online e-com sellers, and if you think it's not going to be, you're got your head buried in the sand. Okay, let's just think about what's happening anyway in the first place. Okay, over the last several months, I know people who've had their PayPal accounts shut, their Stripe accounts, their payment processes shut down because of trademark violation. Right? I know people who've had their Facebook ads shut down because of trademark violation, their fan pages, their ads, ads account, as I mentioned, right? Because of trademark violation. And I know people who've gotten reached out by Shopify, and they haven't had their, actually I know one guy who got his store shut down, but I know people who've gotten emails from Shopify saying that this product and that product and this product are violating of trademark, of known trademark. If you don't remove them, we're going to shut down your store. Okay, so there's already a built-up that Facebook, the payment processing companies that we all work for, right, that we depend on, right, if you get screwed, if you lose your Facebook ads account, you're screwed on Facebook, but you can just start selling on Instagram and other sources. But if you lose your payment processing ability, right, PayPal, Stripe, to checkout, yes, there's other payment processors you can go through, but eventually they're going to run out of them. There's only a finite number of payment processors, right? You lose access to the payment process. Plus, they share this information. If you're blackballed on one payment processor, they share it, and maybe that's illegal, but they do. I know for a fact they do, right? Not for a fact. Sorry, I'm suspicious they do, because what happened with one guy I know is he lost his PayPal, and then next thing you know, next day he got a letter from Stripe saying he lost that. I mean, how did Stripe find out so fast that he was in trouble with PayPal, right? It was weird, right? So I'm suspicious that they're sharing information, right? So, and then or maybe Shopify is sharing the information with them. Anyway, someone is letting them know, right? But guys, okay, now maybe you're saying, oh, well, maybe I should rush and get on WordPress, guys. You're still vulnerable, okay, right? Because, you know, the reality is once you buy a domain name and you start selling on your own self-hosted domain, even if you put the who's who guard on there, they can find you. There's many ways, especially if they're good at research, and they're going to hire good research companies to figure out who you are. So you could only create so many layers of protection for yourself. Eventually, they can figure out who you are. And even if you're in a cheap third world country right now, maybe it may be harder for them to come after you, but they can. Okay, there have actually been lawsuits in India and stuff against trademark violations, so it can totally happen, right? If you're in a developing country, I didn't mean to use the word third world, it's an old term, not politically correct, say developing country, right? You could still come after, right? It's maybe not as easy because the course is not as advanced, but still it can happen. Okay, now, so what does this mean for us, guys? What does this mean for us sellers? Well, number one, it means that Shopify is going to crack down harder. Facebook's going to crack down harder, and the payment process is going to crack down harder. So this creates an environment, guys, where it really does not make sense to do trademark violation. It just doesn't make sense, guys. And here's the other part, guys. There's a record out there online, right? Let's just say you trademark violated today, right? And you made $10,000, $100,000, $200,000, right? They could come after you later, right? 3 years down the road, 4 years down the road, you can get a knock, you know, get a subpoena, right? They could come after you later, right? Just because they don't catch you now, or they don't come after you now, they can come after you later, right? So there's a digital footprint out there of what you sold, all right? So, I mean, the short-term gains is not worth the potential risk of getting sued down the road. I mean, I can't confirm this for sure, but I heard a rumor about a guy who, you know, lost his house, and now he's working a job, he's getting his wages garnished, 50% of his wages garnished, right? I don't know the exact details, so I can't confirm that, but that's the rumor I heard. So this is the environment we're living under, guys. This is the environment where there's been a lot of people out there trademark violating, right? And there's a lot of people some people are actually teaching that, which is boggles my mind. I mean, it's one thing if you want to choose on your own to trademark violate, but to teach it to others is another thing, right? Okay, so, right. What do you need to do, guys? Well, here's what you need to do. You need to run a clean business. It's that simple. There are actually so many ways to run a clean business and to come up with great products that are not violation of trademark. There are so many great ways, guys. And here's the best part. When you do that, right, you own the product, it's your product, and then you start to build a brand, right? You start to build a brand that's sellable. No one's gonna want to buy a brand of a company that's been selling trademark violated stuff. So if you're trademark violating, not only are you taking the risk of getting sued at some point and losing everything you gained, plus some, right? They don't just take your gains, they go for punitive money. So they go for more. So they don't just go for what you sold, they actually go for more. They want to punish you, make an example of you, right? So you put that risk, but you're also not building anything. Not no one, sorry. There are some maybe morons out there who would buy a company that's a trademark violating, but there's a very small, no smart company, no smart businessman will invest and buy a company that's been trademark violating, right? They're putting themselves at risk because they're now the owner of that brand. So, I mean, you're not building an asset, you're putting yourself at a lot of risk, and the short-term game is just not worth it. It's just not worth it. So, guys, that brings me to one of my main points I want to make. You need to master creating products. You need to master creating products. Okay, so now I'm actually very close to my launch of Ecom Vantage group, Ecom Vantage course, but I've had 240 beta members in there, right? And people are satisfied as fuck. But why did I start that? A year ago when I started making it, it turned into a massive course. It's got 90 some videos, everything I've ever done in my business. Facebook ads, Instagram. I brought in experts on Pinterest, YouTube. I really blew this up. But the original idea actually was about one thing. I recognized the need in the marketplace that there was actually no good product creation course. Originally, Ecom Vantage was just going to be a product creation course. And there's 7 hours of content on product creation. It's the most detailed course ever. It covers all sorts of unique ways to come up with product ideas. No course out there comes even close to this. Most courses have 10, 20, 30 minutes, maybe 45 minutes, an hour on product creation. I've got 7 hours of training about products. And then it blew up and it turned into a mastermind, and that group I've been supporting every day for a year. And then Facebook ads and all everything that's come with this. And guys, James Brown is writing the sales page now. He promises me we can be done next week. So if you want to get in for the beta price, private message me. Your time is coming up. And this course will solve the product creation problem. I promise you that. You will never run out of methods of trying to create products if you're in my Ecom Vantage course. Now, will you create successful products? No, I can't guarantee that because that's up to your effort, but you will never run out of methods. And that's the key point, right? You'll never run out of saying, how can I come up with good product ideas? And by the way, I've actually came up with some new ideas. I've actually planning a couple more videos on this because some new ideas occurred to me. And that's the cool thing about product creation is that when you start that creative mindset going, you start that creative flowing going, you come with new unique ways, new ideas come up. All right, so let me answer the questions. So private message, you want my Ecom Vantage course. If you're a newbie and you want some blueprint to get started, what you want is my Top Hat Challenge. That's a cheaper course. I'm going to put the link to that. If you want my private coaching or you want Ecom Vantage, you got to private message me. I want to talk to these people before I get them in because it's a mastermind group, or from Ecom Vantage, it's also private coaching, is actually higher level. And I want to know who's in these groups. So, okay. Let's see here. Hello, Anas. How are you doing? What's your opinion of eBay? Wega, what do you mean, what's my opinion of eBay? I don't really follow that question. Yeah, eBay is a source of products. I mean, that's for drop shipping, right? This is a trademark Jacob Topping. This is a trademark agenda. I don't follow your question. Sorry, buddy. Yep. Yeah, people. Jacob's saying people should be checking their trademarks. Now, it's not 100% easy to check that, but there's a website called Trademarkia that will allow you to test. So what you want to do is you put in the trademark, the thing you're selling, and see if you can find it's a trademark. Now, that's not a 100% system. And by the way, let me also talk about something that also got Sunfrog in trouble. They were warned about it, and they didn't stop. Okay, so if you ever, by accident, get a trademark violation, which I did actually a few years ago, I got one cease and desist, and I just immediately responded saying, sorry, I didn't realize we're a trademark violation. I do check for trademark violations, but this was a mistake and it was an oversight. I promise not to sell your stuff again, and it's been removed from my site. And guess what? Their lawyer actually responded an hour later saying, we appreciate the cooperation. As long as you don't do it anymore, that's the end of it. That was a response from their lawyer. So that's what to do, guys. If you ever get one by accident, which I swear to you guys it was an accident on my part, we didn't realize we're trademark violating, and you just immediately say, hey, look, cool, no problem. In many cases, they'll just let it go, okay? Not all cases, right? Not all cases, and they could still sue if they want to, so be warned, but in many cases, they will let it go. Let's see here. Jacob makes a good point. Jacob Topping, thank you. That's a very good point. I like that. So he mentions this lawsuit is actually good for people who actually want to go through the process of getting a license. Now, it's not easy to get a license. You got to get approved by these companies, and usually you got to pay an upfront fee, so it does require more of an investment. But if you are interested in selling licensed goods, there's a license expo in Las Vegas in May. I don't know the details off the top of my head, but you can probably search that in Google. If you just search licensing expo in Vegas May, that would probably come up in Google. Thank you. Thanks for pointing that out, Jacob. I appreciate that. All right. Wega, you're totally confused. Shopify, he's saying, what's the best way to do dropshipping, eBay or Shopify? Shopify is a platform that allows you to create your own self-hosted, branded e-com store, okay? It doesn't provide you with any products whatsoever. You got to go out and get your own products. eBay is a source where you could go and drop ship from, right? Now be careful again, if you're drop shipping products that are trademark violated, you can get sued for that. Okay, so Dylan says general store or niche store. Absolutely recommend a niche store all the way. Okay, so Jacob on the licensing expo, I'm not familiar with this. This is new to me, but the LIMA, obviously he's mentioned the licensing thing, so it's probably the licensing seminar, or symposium, or expo, whatever you want to call it, is May 22nd to 24th in Las Vegas. Amazon is keynote speaking at the episode. Okay, great. Cool, guys. All right. And by the way, I also want to mention a thing. Guys, be careful when who you're following, right? Make sure they're not also trademark violating. I mean, one of the reasons why in my Ecom Vantage course, I just open up my entire store to people and my fan pages to them, and I don't hide it from them. And by the way, this is something that people don't realize. Actually, my Ecom Vantage course, I don't hide my website and I don't hide my fan page. I actually show it to my students and because I want them to see that I'm running a legitimate business, right? And just like any legitimate business, my business is up and down. I'm not always rocking, and any guru claims they are, I don't know, man. It's very suspicious to me because I'm not. I am up and down. I've been up and down since 2012, and that's part of the freaking game. And I'm proud to admit that. I've had booming times, I've had down times, and I'm not ashamed at all. And that's part of the game. And anyone who says they're not going through that, it's bullshit. Okay. So anyway, I want my students in my Ecom Vantage course to see that I got a real business, right, and what I'm doing in that business, right. And so, yeah, I actually, in my Ecom Vantage course, I actually show my real website, my real fan page, and it's all 100% transparent. So I'm just looking. Do I give any advice on how to start a niche store? Yes, there's an entire video in my Ecom Vantage course about how to start a niche store. That's in the Top Hat Challenge, the basic course. There's a simplified version of that, but that's included as well. The girl asked a Longoria, I'm not sure I pronounced your name right, so please forgive me, asked how many big brands will also go after Sunfrog because they got other licensed goods. Absolutely, there's other brands are going to line up to go after Sunfrog, but not just Sunfrog, guys. Not just Sunfrog. Other big brands are going to be emboldened to go after us, guys, because they saw what happened with Sunfrog. And there's a lot of Shopify sellers, guys, in the groups, your friends, or not friends, but people you've been interacting with in these groups. They're in serious risk, especially if they've been doing it on a larger scale. Smaller scale, maybe you're less of a risk, but still, yeah, they're brace for impact. Chris says, I'm in the middle of creating a awesome design lab and wanted to know when I get ready for the beta, would you be interested in allowing you or your group early access to test it out? Would rather experts would check it out. So Chris, you're saying like a design, like you have like a design creation lab or like group of designers? Absolutely, that's something that my group would be interested. Yes, and I'd be interested in promoting, not promoting, but potentially promoting. I need to know more details. Private message me, but yes, I'm interested in giving opportunities to my mastermind group to have more designs made. Absolutely. Okay, guys. So number one, the Top Hat Challenge is for beginners. You want that course? I'll put the link in this, because that sales page is completed. I'll put the link in this thread. Number two, if you want an Ecom Vantage Mastermind and Mastery course, A to Z, beginner to all the way advanced, private message me. If you want my private coaching, private message me. And cheers. See you guys in the next video.